I've been doing this for 20 years and I still see the same small little habits that seem to derail even the most experienced professional sales conversations. You've got experience, you've got great clients, you know your stuff. And if something in the sales conversations that doesn't quite go as you hope for, chances are you are doing small but very important things that are derailing the conversation. So today we're going to talk about 8 small things that might be derailing the conversation and also how to fix them. Habit number 1 that kills the deal. Jargon that doesn't make sense to lay people. Jargon is a conversation killer, unfortunately. And I know you're nervous, you're trying to get through your presentation, and maybe you don't want to insult the intelligence of the person who's listening, but any acronym that you don't explain is going to not do what you hope it's going to do. Sometimes people don't actually understand it. Other times, you just sound like a know-it-all. So be careful about jargon. It's not a bad idea to check in every once in a while to make sure that you're on the same page about language, terms, jargon. Clarity is super underrated. In fact, clarity is awesome. Don't underestimate the power of just explaining something simply and making sure you're on the same page. Number 2, you don't believe in yourself or you don't know why you're there. I come across this all the time. So if you feel imposter syndrome going into a meeting, it's going to show. If you don't actually believe fully in what you're doing for clients and how you're making the world a better place, it's gonna show. So make sure you walk into that meeting believing in yourself, believing in your team, believing in your offering. If you're anticipating rejection, that's gonna show too. Number 3, you don't get back to people timely. I know this is a little bit of a no-brainer, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard deals fall through because someone waited a little too long to get back to someone. If you've got an assistant, you've got an email reminder system, if you are open to texting, just one sentence can change the course of a deal if it's delivered in a timely way. Your offer versus what they need. So you walk into a conversation thinking it's going to be about X, but the client's really about Y. You were prepared to talk about X, but they really need Y. Keep your listening ears on to make sure you're actually in a conversation that is aligned with what they need, not just what you offer. People love to talk about their offer. It's a comfort zone for them. They know how it works. They're a little bit not so good at asking questions. That's the next point. You don't ask questions. You don't ask questions. You don't ask the right questions. So let's talk about that. Are you really clear about what they want? And if you're not, listen and ask questions. I recommend asking questions that are open-ended. Or you can simply say, tell me more. Tell me about this. Can you clarify XYZ for me? If you're not asking questions, I would argue to say you're not actually listening, and that'll kill any deal pretty quickly. The next one we're going to talk about is you don't answer their questions. So if you're not in a calm, clear, focused state of mind, and you're not hearing their question, you're pretty liable to just rattle off what you're thinking about. And I've seen this time and time again. It happens to all of us. You're full of good ideas, but did you actually answer their question? I think that's a pretty important thing. Again, you want to communicate you're listening. Point number 7, is there any lack of clarity around next steps? It's pretty common to see someone go into a meeting, deliver a really good spiel, then walk out of there feeling victorious without defining what the next steps are. The next steps could be very, very simple, but if they're not clear and well understood, then the deal's going to fall apart very quickly. I know I keep saying that. Deals fall apart all the time, but you don't want it to be on your watch, which is also why you want to be clear on next steps. It could be giving the client or prospective client a couple of days to think and then checking in. It could be someone going back to research something or clarify an asked need or data point. It could be you sending the contract right over then and there so that you can close things and wrap up fast. It could be getting an NDA signed. Whatever it is, Don't leave a meeting without making sure everyone is on the same page with next steps and who's going to do them. Finally, point number 8, and congratulations for staying this far because this is a pretty important one. People take sales rejections personally. Now, this may not stall the deal in the middle of things, but it's really going to stall your flow. When you are out there in the market and you are presenting yourself, if you take everything personally, you're going to run out of steam pretty fast. People aren't rejecting you. Well, they kind of are sometimes, but it's just a deal that didn't work out. And so what you need to do is think about what are you learning and what's the next action you're going to take to move yourself forward. Listen, I'm going to be really honest about how personal sales are. Sometimes it really is people rejecting you, your style, your personality, your sense of humor that didn't jive. Don't worry, because you know what? If they're not for you, someone else is. And Lord knows there's a lot of work out there. So if any of these felt familiar, good. Awareness is the first step. These are skills and habits. They're not character flaws. They're skills and habits that can be defined, honed, improved, or even created from scratch. If you're ready to start turning those habits into something that actually works, I really want to be there to support you. I want to help. So go to Golden Ginkgo Group and schedule a discovery session with me, and we'll talk about what's actually happening in your world and what will actually solve the challenges that you're working through. The discovery session is free and totally confidential. I'm so looking forward to chatting with you.